Hey everyone, welcome back to this riveting episode of Should Have Saw at the Gym. Today on this blustery 32 degree weather day in mid-Michigan, nothing more disappointing than going to get a good workout in, then afterwards I wanted to jump in the tanner to warm up a little bit before I came out in the truck. And you get in the tanner, stand up gimmick, and it's just shooting cold air at you. So that one was a fail today. I guess I'll have to try a different one when I go back in there tomorrow. But anyway, I made some observations I wanted to share with everybody today. And yeah, I would say these are my top 5 gym mistakes that I observe in the gym. And I'm coming at that from, 42 years of spending time in the gym. Former football coach, and I spent a lot of time in the weight room correcting some of the players that had some mistake things that needed to be corrected. And I lived the bodybuilding lifestyle for several years in the 80s and the early 90s. So I'm not saying that I'm any type of kinesiology expert, but as far as some of the gym movements go, some of the things I see are this. Number 1, too much weight, too heavy. I'm looking at people that are in their 60s, 70s, way too much weight on the bars, way too heavy of dumbbells, which is going to cause injuries. All right, and that at that age, you don't need to do that. You're looking at to achieve mobility. You're not looking for size. You want to get yourself mobile, and too much weight is not good, which leads to number 2 is the poor form of the movements. It's just kind of epidemic in here, and I don't know if people are watching people online to do this stuff or whatever, but a lot of it includes too much use of the back. It's going to cause lower back injuries. With heavy weight, they're starting to include their back into curl movements and push down movements and bent over rows where they have an arched back, and it's kind of painful to watch. And I don't say anything to anybody, I'm just making these observations, but people have got to pay attention to their back during these movements, which leads to my next one. People that are not experienced. What I'm saying is somebody who is maybe a beginner, hasn't worked with weights a lot. They're trying to do too many complex movements. For instance, they're trying, before they master the basics, they're trying to do Zotman curls instead of a basic curl. They're trying to do Arnold presses for a shoulder movement, which is very complex, and you can really get injured if you don't know what you're doing, especially if you're using too much weight. Instead of just a basic standard shoulder press, a lot of times the hand placement is not right, and the joint is not under the weight, but just too complex of stuff. You got to master the basics before you go to those type of movements. And then this is, I think, just a generational thing. Way too long of a time period between sets, and it's the phone. I understand. I carry my phone with me because that's where the music is for my headphones or for my earbuds. What headphones is like a 80s term, right? So they're just scrolling social media, and time goes on, and if you've got to keep that within a minute, to keep that anaerobic, that heart rate up. When everything settles back down, you're starting all over again. I like to try to go, a minute maybe between sets if I'm gassed. It just depends on what I'm doing, how much weight I got going on. But I always play around between 8 reps and 12. But I don't sit. I'm not going to sit around and get cooled off and let the muscles relax. You want to stay pumped. Make a shorter time frame between your sets. And then the last one, overtraining the muscle. I see some guys in here working their shoulders for an hour straight with 7-8 different shoulder exercises, and they're going to regret that when they get older. Biceps is probably the biggest one. Your bicep is not a big muscle. It's not big at all. And I see people putting heavy weights for 5, 6 different movements. You don't need to do that. 3 basic exercises for the different areas of the bicep will be fine. Unless you're into professional bodybuilding, you don't need to do that, okay? You can go heavier on the tricep than you can on the bicep. It's a much bigger muscle and can take a little bit more. But I've seen coworkers when I was working, friends that are popping, bicep tendons and that thing. Especially when you get my age, you can't overwork that bicep or you're going to pop it. You can't be doing overtraining these muscles. Spread it out. The chest is got a lot of different angles that you got to work. I understand that, but we don't need to do 8 exercises for one muscle group. So there you go. That's it. Those are just my observations. Love them or leave them. That's my observations. And like I always say, there's days I get up, I don't want to go in and do this. Look, I'm 57 years old. I'm just trying to stay mobile at this point. I'm not trying to win a contest. I'm not trying to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger anymore. I'm trying to live a little bit longer. That's it. So the hardest or the toughest part to working out is getting through the front door. It's a mental game, folks. Get through the front door and then things will roll for you. All right. Hey, that's it. Didn't see too much crazy activity in here today, but I'm sure it'll be here the next time I show up. We'll share it with you. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you again on the next one.